Oh, I can feel it. Oh, God. Okay.
How does it feel like to lose your identity?
Yeah, so it's not about the length through your it's not the length of your hair. It's not about what you wear. It's not about what you drink your coffee out of. It's about an attitude of gratitude and positivity. And if you don't go within, you go without.
Yeah, without your hair.
And I also think it's important to have a sense of humor. I know that a lot of us have gone through lots of stuff in life, and it's good to have an attitude of gratitude and be positive, but also I think it's important to approach life with a sense of humor, because life is not a veil of tears. It's not something that we need to overcome. It's something that we need to live. Now, let's get it on. I'm Michael Cast, aka the Dirty Hippie, and apparently, oh, look at that. I have a new look. And my guest today got probably the greatest intro of all of the videos that I put together. And I'm talking about, we're going to be talking a little bit about manifesting desires and gratitude. And in the opening, I mentioned, yeah, you know, it doesn't matter what you wear. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter how much money you make or don't make. It doesn't matter what your job is, what your education is, where you live, what you do. As long as you have an attitude of gratitude, it's an inside job. And if you don't go within, you go without. And somebody who can vouch for me on that one is Tammy Skomorowski. Hey, Tammy.
Hey, thanks
From
so
True
much.
Self.
Yes.
Wellness for mind, body, and spirit. Okay,
Yes.
I don't know, you know, and we've done videos and I have that all the time, but I can't remember it.
Yeah, well, I feel like because of the counseling, it's the mind.
Yeah.
The meditation is about the body and relaxing the body, and the spiritual life coaching is about spirit.
Yeah.
Tapping into your larger self.
So we're doing a bunch of videos on, geez, a bunch of things.
I know. Spirituality, manifestation, setting a goal, how to hit your target, how to hold an intention.
And when I say manifesting desires, we were talking before we started doing the recording here, and you were saying you like to call it what? Conscious?
Yeah, I like to use the term being a conscious creator, because being a conscious creator means like we're manifesting all the time.
Yeah.
We're creating life all the time. Every decision you make, you know, the time you leave your house, what road you drive down, who you choose for a partner, we are creating all of the time. But the question is, are you a conscious creator? Are you aware of the decisions you're making? Are you aware of the thoughts you're holding? Are you aware of the behaviors you're feeding? Are you conscious of what you're creating?
That can be tough. It can be tough, you know.
Yeah.
We talked. We were also talking about meditation and exercise, and I think right along with that is really being mindful, really being awake, conscious.
That's the
right?
key word, right? Mindfulness.
Mindful.
Yeah.
Of what I'm putting out there.
Yeah.
In the universe, because the universe doesn't. Correct me. Right? There's lots of different beliefs, right?
Sure.
The universe to me doesn't think in negative and positive. It just thinks as what is.
Yeah.
Right?
That we just take the language. So if I say, I don't want to be stressed, I don't want to be stressed, it doesn't understand don't. All it hears is the word stressed.
Yeah.
Stressed, the universe, but even like it's psychology. Your brain hears the word stress. Even though you're saying don't be stressed, the brain just hears that word stress, and then that's what we're feeding. So are you conscious of that?
So I can say, so what I do is I think of when I'm thinking that way, when I'm being a conscious creator, I usually say to myself, I'm successful. Because I am successful. There's no negative or positive there. It's just a fact.
Yep.
And the universe says, yeah, you know what? You are successful. I guess it all depends too on what people's
how you define success. But
yeah.
what I do love about that is it is short and sweet and to the point. It's 3 simple words, and it's the I am. Because anything that comes after the I am is how you're defining yourself. So when people come into counseling and they say, I am lazy, I'm stupid, I'm fat, they say all these things, I suck. Well, that's what you're reinforcing. That's what you're reaffirming. So I love that you said, I am successful in the affirmative.
I've had friends, friends will say that to me. I am by no means a counselor. And I've had friends say to me, oh, I'm this or that, some negative term. And I'm like, all right, man, if you say so. Right? if that's what you want to be.
Bring it on, that's what's going to happen. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Be, right?
Yeah.
Or when, and I used to do this, I used to say, oh, God, I don't want to go to that thing. It's going to suck. I'm going to have to do this, or I'm going to have to do that. And yeah, you know what? I've already made it so it's going to be that way.
Absolutely, because you've made that decision. Like you've already decided this is the way it's going to be. And so even if the situation isn't that way, it's funny, I'm going to get together tonight. And so even if it isn't that way, because you think it's going to be that way, that's the vibe, that's the energy you're going to bring, and then that's what you're going to attract. People will feel that. They might avoid you or treat you as such. And so now it's not just about, is it going to be this way? It's like we've created it. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
What was it? I can't remember the facts, but it says when you walk into a room and you have negative energy, that negative energy will travel like 4 times further than positive energy. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, how does that,
Well, probably, so I don't know that. I don't know that. I do know that we are always like our energy is always vibrating out from us. And I know the research keeps extending the distance that we vibrate out this energy. And the research that I saw in the late 90s said it vibrates out about 4 feet. The more recent research says it vibrates out about 6 feet. And we know that, but how far does it vibrate out? We can only measure as far as our instruments can measure it. And so maybe with more technology, better technology, we'll see just exactly how far it vibrates out.
How far it goes, yeah.
But I wonder too, like, if a negative emotion is more intense, and that's why it feels like it's vibrating out so much more strongly and further.
Yeah, and but like, what tips do you have for people that are maybe think, I don't want to say negative, or think in a way that's probably not helpful, I guess, like what tips do you have for that?
Well, I guess number 1 is, do you even catch it? Are you even aware?
Are you aware?
Are you
Self-awareness.
even aware? So that's the mindfulness that you mentioned.
Yeah.
Coming back to the awareness. And I always say language leaves clues. So the language that you use tells others how you think about yourself, how you think about the world. And so are you mindful of the language that you're using? Are you mindful of the words and the phrases that you repeat over and over and over again? And then as a conscious creator, is that who you want to be? So when you say I am, whatever comes afterward, is that who you want to be? Because if not, then you need to
erase that. Get rid of that, yeah. I know, because you and I, we've talked about changing those pathways and the way we think.
and the lie that we were told, and how it becomes this thing that defines us. But we can change that.
For sure.
We can change that.
Yeah. When you have the awareness,
Yeah.
and then the fascinating part is the thoughts that you repeat over and over and over again. There's this saying, neurons that fire together wire together. Meaning the thoughts that you repeat over and over and over again become so entrenched, like ruts in the snow, that when you do catch that negative belief or the poopy thought, and you want to feel better, it will take constant reminding to get out of the rut and knowing you're going to fall back in again, because neurons that fire together wire together. So now we're kind of like stuck in that path.
So one of the things that you do at True Self is help people change the wiring.
Yes.
Change that wiring, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Catch the awareness, catch the unconscious beliefs that have been programmed into you in childhood by society, recognize the emotions that are getting in the way, how to navigate those feelings, and then how to self-parent.
Yeah, we talked about some of those emotions that get in the way. Fear, I think, being
the big one.
The big one, you know, fear of not having enough, fear of somebody not liking me, fear of missing out, fear of
I'm not loved.
1,000 different,
I'm
a
not
million
loved.
different things.
I'm not worthy. I'm
Yeah.
not good enough. I'm fear of inadequacy. All of it.
To me, the universe doesn't work on fear.
Well, it'll give you what you fear.
Yeah.
When people come to my house and I have my 2 dogs,
Yeah.
who does my dog gravitate to? The person who does not want my dog. Everybody else is like, oh, I love your dog, pet the dog, you know, come in, have a seat. But the one person who's like, oh, I'm kind of scared and worried and like, you know, leaning away, that's where my dog goes.
The dog will be like, yeah.
That's what they're vibrating out
They're
so
like, hey,
strongly.
I'm okay. I'm
Exactly.
okay. You like
Yeah.
me, like me, please.
Yeah, they're like, what's going
What's
on?
going on? I know. I'll tell people. I say when I used to make decisions based in fear until I learned how to make decisions based in, I guess, a power, right? A power greater or more. I guess spiritual decisions based in spirituality, based in goodness. Oh, life became way easier.
Well, trusting,
yeah.
believing, knowing, like, I don't have to have it all figured out, like knowing it doesn't need to all be on me, like having that. And it's not just a belief, it's like a deep set knowing that there is something greater, that I'm not on my own.
That I think that's difficult for people.
Yeah.
Because we have
True.
this whole thing around religion and God, and really all it is just a belief in who knows what, the universe, and the universe wants nothing but like good stuff.
Yeah.
Right, good stuff for us.
Yeah. And you know, if everything is made of consciousness, God, creator, I don't want to split hairs over the words.
Yeah.
What is your spirit? What truly makes you you?
Yeah.
Like isn't that a drop of the God force energy, consciousness? Like you are a drop of that. Like that is, in the way I think, that is what spirit is a drop of the divine. So it's not just out there. Like you could pray to, you know, God, your guides. I do.
Yeah.
I do. I have been, and I've been doing that for very consciously the last few weeks. And what happened, Michael? You contacted me.
Oh,
Like,
were you praying for me?
I called you in. And so it's not just out there, but it's also within you.
Yeah.
And knowing and believing and trusting that you have all of that potential when we weed through all of the negative programming and beliefs.
Some people call it coincidence.
No
right?
way.
And
No.
I don't buy into that
Doesn't
any longer.
exist.
A lot of some of my friends call it God shots, right? And I like to use that term.
That's new.
That's a God shot.
Okay.
I'm no longer
Downloads.
downloads.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm no longer. I'm no longer surprised by.
Yeah.
You know that when I'm thinking something or thinking about someone, or praying on something or meditating on something, that I get some answer. Now I'm going to be honest here. It's not always the answer that I want.
Because the ego, the mind, is programmed to think that we know the answer or we know how to solve things. But when you surrender, like when you give up to, surrender means up to, not like I give in, but when you give up to something greater, the answer might be so much bigger than what our minds can conceive.
I still share this. I have a good as an artist. I have a good imagination, and I had ideas like where I want to be, what I want to be doing. You know, at this age. I never thought I'd shave, but I did say I was going to shave my head. But what I'm getting at is, like, I have a good imagination, but it never prepared me for the goodness that the universe has provided, right? Because when I look, I say, yeah, that would have been nice over here, but who knows what would have happened. But where I am right now, it's like, thanks, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, this is great.
Yeah.
And I can't express enough the power of gratitude. About being gratitude for the abundance of those things that we're talking about, how we create the things that we create.
Yeah.
I think it's important to say thank you.
Totally. Yeah. To recognize what's already there, because I'll speak for myself, if I'm only striving for what I want over here, and I have an idea of how I think that's going to unfold, now I'm limiting myself to all of the other possibilities and options. But like you said, the gratitude, just to come back to, what am I thankful for? What do I already have? What am I grateful to already have in my life? Then that puts you in that vibe of like, I already have enough. And then whatever unfolds. But if all I'm doing is aiming for the end goal, then it's really coming from a place of lack.
Do you do gratitude lists?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not consistent with it.
No, neither am I.
But once again, I had a rough couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I won't get into all the details. I know a lot of people were really struggling a few weeks back, and so was I. I'm human. And I just said, what would I tell a client? And I would tell them, are you walking? Are you meditating? Are you doing gratitude? So every day after my meditation for 2 weeks, I was saying, I'm open, I surrender, send me the signs, make it loud and clear, because sometimes it's subtle and I don't always see them. And then I would pull out my journal and I would just give gratitude. Even it was just gratitude for, I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to have these eyeballs to see the sunrise. I'm grateful for my dog,
And it's easy to start with that. And then I think when for me, when I find one thing that I'm grateful for, then I'm like, oh, I'm grateful for that.
It's a domino.
And I'm grateful for that. And oh, I'm so blessed to have this. And then so that other stuff that I don't have is so not important.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If I'm grateful for the stuff that I have, I always, in my morning meditation, I say, or I guess a gratitude prayer, I say, thank you for the things I have and the things I will receive. So being grateful kind of ahead of time, like whatever, and just give me the strength to be able to accept that whatever's happening is happening. Right?
And to be open for whatever else comes my way. just to be open and receptive. Because I think the other thing too about manifesting and being a conscious creator is we're so like,
That's
you know,
the goal.
that's the goal,
Yeah.
that we don't see all the little gifts along the way, and only focusing on the goal, like, it's great, but sometimes it's so far away. Like sometimes that's a year out or 10 years out, but when we're grateful for where we're at, then we can see the other things that come along the path that get us to the end goal.
And sometimes the end goal appears sooner than while we're doing that, while we're grateful, suddenly we're like there.
Yeah.
But we didn't miss the journey.
Totally.
Right.
Well, and that's the thing is, are we so, you know, stuck on that final destination that, you know, you're not smelling the roses?
Yeah, yeah.
So busy getting there that you don't see what's already here.
I saw that in my own family, you know, and I love my family. I'm not a big family guy, but I love my family, and I saw this drive for wealth. And then the accumulation of wealth, and then no ability to even enjoy the wealth.
Yeah.
The time spent accumulating, they missed the fun part of having the money.
Yeah. Like, what is it for?
Yeah.
What is it for? You know, if you're just working to accumulate money, like money in and of itself has zero value. It only has value because we've attached value. And so I've stopped seeking money because it's more about like, what does the money get me? Does it get you that toy? Does it get you that quad? Does it get you a trip and the freedom? Like, what about just focusing on the trip, the freedom, the quad, instead of the money?
And that stuff will come.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that, like we were talking about coincidence and earlier, and about and it seems, and I know this is, you know, it's tough if you haven't experienced it, that I can say, you know, and this is money based, it's like I need to get this bill paid. I need to get this bill paid. I'd really like to get this bill paid. I don't think about give me money.
Yeah.
Although a
like,
big bag of money would be nice,
sure,
but
sure,
what am I going to do with it? I'm going to pay the bill. Right?
Weren't we talking about that earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got true self.
Yes.
And right now you have, what have you got going? A meditation?
I have my Ancient Secrets meditation circle, and it is both online and in person. And in there, it's a fusion, it's a blend of the mindfulness, so bringing the awareness, what are these thoughts, what are these feelings that are getting in the way, quieting down the body. So it's a fusion of the mindfulness and the manifestation. And so that's knowing, sorry, I'm cutting you off for 1 second, that's the knowing that you are part of something bigger, and all of that universal potential is inside of you.
So people can find that at True. I got this.
Yep.
True
Okay.
Self. TRUES3LF.ca.
CA. Yeah.
So True Self with a 3 in there in the self.ca.
Yes.
And we're going to have we'll get together again. We have a few videos.
Awesome.
That
I'm
we got to-
excited. I've
Yeah.
got more content.
Good, good. And also, we got a radio show we're going to be doing.
I'm excited
Again,
on Monday.
On Monday, yeah. And if people are interested, I would highly encourage to go check out True Self.
Yeah.
And that's all I got today, man.
Awesome.
I'm going to enjoy my. You know what? It's colder.
Oh,
this
it
is
is.
way colder than what I had thought. But it doesn't change. You know, I thought about that too. I thought, is this going to change me inside? And I'm like, no, this is just a shell.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We talked about
Yeah.
spirit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the spirit that I need to nurture.
Yeah. This is just the body that is housing your spirit for now.
I'd like to thank my guest, Tammy Skomorowski from True Self, Wellness for Mind, Body, and Spirit. You can find out more about what Tammy has to offer at trueself.ca. That's self with a 3, TRUES3LF.ca. I'm Michael Cass, aka The Dirty Hippie, and if you want more information on what I do, you can check out dirtyhippiebc.com. Don't forget to check out podcasts and this thing and YouTube channels and all kinds of stuff. dirtyhippiebc.ca. Thanks for watching. Peace.